Hey guys, I hope you're having an incredible day. So over the last week, I've been working on this website form that as soon as you input your information, within about 10 seconds, you get a call from the business who is going to be able to answer any questions you have about the company, qualify you, and then book you into sales calls. So it's incredibly powerful. So I just pressed call me. Now we're going to look at my phone, and within a second, there we go. I get the call.
Hi, Kevin. I'm an AI assistant calling from Target Dial. I was wondering if you had any questions about our services.
Yeah, how much does it cost?
We have flexible pricing tiers designed to fit within your budget, no matter the size of your business. Our goal is to ensure that working with us is affordable for you, and we are confident we can find the right solution that meets both your needs and financial expectations.
You get the idea. And if you're looking to do it yourself, then I have this free blueprint. You can download it to help you get started. And if you're a business, you can literally just call it on my website and it'll book you into a call. With that being said, let's hop right into it. This is a massive build. I think you're going to get immense value out of this. I've really battle tested this specific setup and I think it's going to help a lot of you out. All right, guys. So we're building out a simple squad today. It's a two-part squad. So you can see right here, we got the first assistant, which is the receptionist, answers any frequently asked questions. Then once that's done, it passes it off to the appointment scheduler, who's going to qualify and then book into a sales call for you. You can see my two assistants here. I'm going to show them briefly, but it says hi, first name. I'm an AI assistant calling from Target Dial. I was wondering if you had any question about our services. And we're passing the variables dynamically from the form. So whatever their first name that they enter, this is where it'll be passed dynamically. And then we're going to set the role, the goal, right, to answer any frequently asked questions, nudge them along the conversation, and then once they're ready, book them into a strategy session. And then if you look at our appointment scheduler, it's the same thing. So hi, first name, are you ready to book a call? Now there's a qualifying question process. So it asks a couple of questions, gets some more information about the customer. Then it books them into the calendar, asks them for a 30-minute time slot, if there's any conflicts, and it's using different tools. So I have one tool that checks availability. The other tool is using the booking tool. And the thing that's really cool about this is because we're passing variables dynamically, it knows what the current time is, and it also knows their first name, their email, and their phone number. So I've seen a lot of other videos where people are trying to get that information from the user on the call, but because they've filled out our form, it's already collected. We can just pass that dynamically so that this agent has it from the start. So when it goes to book the call, right, using the booking tool, and I'll show you what this tool looks like, right? It needs the name, it needs the email, it needs the phone number. Like, it'll already have that information when it goes to run the tool. And then the only other thing are the busy times. These are the check availability tool is doing. It's looking at what times are already booked, and then it's saving that to busy times within the booking tool. And then the requested time slot is what's being returned. So if you look here, this is access to all the tools. This is what's getting our availability. This is what's booking them into a meeting. And this is sending the end of call report. So essentially, you only need check availability and booking. So when they want to check the availability, it's going to come down here. It's connected to Calendly right now, so it's going to look at my Calendly and just compile a list of all my busy times and return that list of busy times to our AI agent, which is then saving it in the booking tool under the busy times, right? And they'll also save the requested time slot in here as well. And then check availability tool is literally just has no properties. It's just this tool looks to see which time slots are already reserved and therefore unavailable for meetings. So another important thing to note is the integration here. The server URL is connected to this custom webhook that we create. And if you want a more in-depth video breaking this down, I already have another one. It's the Go High Level Calendly VAPI integration, which goes through this in a lot more detail. So I'm not going to go super deep into this right now because what I want to focus on today is this website form. So with that being said, we have our two assistants, right? So we have the receptionist and the appointment scheduler. So now we're going to create our first squad. All you'd have to do is hit this plus button, and then you would just choose your receptionist. So I already gone ahead and added my receptionist. Now it's important that you set the destination settings. So this is where we're sending it to. So I have the receptionist and then I have the appointment scheduler. So it's going to send it to my appointment scheduler when they're ready to book a call. You can also input some transfer call settings if you want. And then here under the model settings, you're going to put in hi first name. I'm an AI assistant calling from Target Dial, wondering if you have any questions about our services. And then we're going to copy that same system prompt that I just showed you in the previous assistant version that we were looking at. We're going to plug that in here. You can connect your knowledge base as well. And then you also have the voice settings. And then we're going to do the same thing with the second assistant. So we would just hit add the two, create that connection. And then if we come into our model settings, same thing, hi first name, are you ready to book a call? Give it, copy paste the same thing from the appointment scheduler assistant prompt. So now that we've done that, we want to set up our webhooks. And right now what's triggering this webhook is this in Go High Level. So I have this form. It's creating an opportunity within my pipeline, and then it's triggering that webhook. So you just add in a webhook module right here, and then you're going to create a trigger within Make. It's going to be your custom webhook. You're going to copy that address to clipboard, hop into your Go High Level workflow, and then just add a webhook. It's going to be a post, and you're going to paste in that URL right there. Another key thing to note while you're testing this is you want to allow re-entry, because if you don't allow for re-entry, whenever you enter the form on your website like this, it's only going to allow you to enter once. So make sure that's turned on, and then you're just going to go ahead, hit publish. Got to make sure that it's published, hit saved, and then whenever you want to fire and test this webhook and get some of the variables to pass through here, what you're going to do is select the contact name. So I added myself as a contact within Go High Level so I could test this, and then I could just hit run test. So let's say I wanted to, get my squad, then what I would do is just hit run once. Now this is running, and then I would come into my Go High Level, I'd hit run test, and now you'll see that the data gets passed all the way down through here, right? If I wanted to check the data that was being passed from, my squad request here. And so once that form is submitted, it triggers this webhook, and this webhook is essentially making the call. So this is what's actually placing our call using VAPI, but there's all of these steps in between that need to occur in order for you to have the dynamic variables that are passed. So in order for when the AI agent answers the call, or when you answer that call, instead of it being hi first name, it's going to be like hi Kevin. It's going to have more information, and when it comes to booking the call, it'll already have their name, email, phone number. So that's pretty huge. So first thing we're going to want to do is, once again, set up that custom webhook, create this connection, and now that information will be passed. So like I said, it's best to test it. So first add in your custom webhook, and then test the workflow and just get some data populated in here. We're going to want the first name, the last name, the full name, email, and the phone number. Now next up, we're going to set multiple variables. So you can see I have 3 variables here. One is my VAPI squad key, the other one is my VAPI phone key, and the last one is my VAPI API key. So all you would have to do is come in here, right? This is how I did it. You put in your variable name, so you put VAPI squad key, and then you have your variable value. So to get the squad key, you come into VAPI, and right here you have your squad key. You just copy that squad, head back in here, and you paste it in. Then next up is getting the phone key. So you're going to come in your phone numbers. Once again, there you have it. You copy that and you paste that in there. And then for your API key, you click on API keys. You got it right here. You copy that ID. You head in here and you paste that in. And then you have all 3 of those and you're good to go. Now, next up, we want to get that squad. So essentially what's happening is, if we look at our data, right, it's pulling in all the code that is necessary in order for VAPI to place your phone calls. Because essentially when you fill out these settings, right, your first name, your system prompt, all the functions, like the tools that you're using, what kind of voice you want, it's taking all that information, and it's easy for you to just code it in, or just to write it in, and it transforms that into code, because that's how the machine is able to work. And so to get your squad, you're going to want to paste in this URL. So you're gonna put in this specific URL right here, and then slash your VAPI squad key. The method is going to be set to get, and then you're going to pass your API key. So you're going to put authorization bearer space your VAPI API key. You don't need to parse the response. And now this will go and grab that code for you. But the issue is that it doesn't have the dynamic variables attached. It doesn't, when you call it, if you were to call it directly like this, it wouldn't say, hi, Kevin. It wouldn't know your email. So now after we've gone and gotten that, we're going to pass the name, email, phone number, all the dynamic variables that we want. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to set a variable. That variable is going to be our squad. So mine is called dynamic squad. And then the variable value is going to be the data. And that data is going to be that code that VAPI needs to run properly. After that, we're going to create multiple dynamic variables. So now we're going to pass all of that information that came from that web form in the custom webhook, and we are going to create those dynamic variables. So add in a parse JSON module, and then this is the code that you're going to need. So I'm passing the first name, I'm passing the current time, I'm passing the phone number, and I'm passing the email. So just go ahead, have it exactly like this with a tag and a value. And then after that, we're going to grab our dynamic squad. So this is just a get variable, and then the variable name is dynamic squad. So it's getting that variable that we just set. And then after that, it's going to add our dynamic variables that we created here. So the first name, current time, phone number, and email. And it's going to add them into our script now. So it's going to loop through the prompts that we've created. And whenever they see first name, right, it's going to replace the first name with the value. So essentially what's happening is it's replacing any of the tags that we have set. So any of these tags, and if we go into VAPI, you'll see here we have hi first name, right? So it's replacing any of those tags with the values that we've set or that we've passed dynamically. And then it's converting our dynamic squad from code into a string format so that it can actually make those changes. And then we're replacing the tag with the value. So just go ahead, add this in. If you're not sure where to get like replace and toString, you can see that there's all these buttons at the top. So just click through them until you get to like replace, right? It's under the text and binary functions, and then you'll find the same thing for toString. That's it. And then lastly, after it's looped through our squad without the dynamic variables, it's added all of those dynamic variables. It's going to go ahead and combine it all back into an array or compile it all into one, and that becomes our dynamic squad. And so you can see here the source module, you're going to want to choose the create dynamic variables. So this step right here, and you're going to choose the tag and the value because that's what it's going to aggregate and compile. And so you can see like these are all the input bundles, right? Our tag was first name, our value was Kevin. Here you have the tag being current time and the value. Same with bundle 3 and 4. And it's just gone ahead and taken all 4 of those and compiled it into one array. Now after that, we're going to get our dynamic squad right here, get the dynamic squad. And so after it's gotten our dynamic squad, we're essentially just going to parse it once again, transform it back into JSON, and it's just so that it's in the proper format that is required to make our final call. So I highly recommend you check out the VAPI documentation if you want to get better at learning how to do this sort of thing. So if you come clicking in the documentation under API reference, there's a lot more detail on, creating assistants, creating calls. But you can see here, right? So authorization, this is normally where you'd put in your API key, and then you have the body, which is your request, your code request that is going to be sent to VAPI to initiate this call. And you can see here, right, this shows you what's typically included in that. So we're not using an assistant, we're using a squad. And so you can see here, right, if I were to add squad members, which is what we're doing, you see that this is your body, your request format. This is the URL that we're calling to. So I'll just show you so you can understand at the same time. Here you have your URL. That URL is the same as this URL. Then we are passing the authorization bearer API key. Here is the first header, authorization bearer API key. And then you have the data or the body, which is what we're passing here, right? The body. And so if we look at this output bundle, there's no members in front of it. If we look at the body of our request, you can see that a squad has members in it. And so that's why we need to take these additional steps of parsing our squad and then aggregating the members. And then we're transforming it back to JSON, where we're grabbing the first element of the array is the members. So that's what we're grabbing. And so now you can see in this request, we have the members. So now it is in the proper format for VAPI to work properly. And then finally, we make our HTTP request. So instead of having one massive line of code, like we would get here if we were to start entering in, our first member assistant's name, the transcriber, the model, right? You can see how as we start to add in this information, the body request gets larger and larger. Same with the model, same with the voice, right? And then same with first message mode and all of these other things. That's what starts to get added. And that's what makes up your request, which is everything that you see here. So instead of us having all of that contained at the end in here, we just make it really nice and pass one or two variables that contain all of that information. So this is the final request content that you're going to need. It's going to be your phone number ID. So we're going to pass the VAPI phone key. And then your customer, you've got their number and their first name. And then we are going to pass our squad, which is going to be the final JSON string that was output here. And that's pretty much it. Once you have that, right, it's going to go through the receptionist and the appointment scheduler, and then it's going to take specific actions based on the tools that we have set. So first it's going to grab the availability, then it's going to book them into a call. And you can see here I have the start date time, which is the requested time slot. I have the end date time, which is the requested time slot plus 30 minutes. And then the meeting description has the message, the email, or it has their name, their email, and their phone number. And then it adds in their name and their email, which are passed dynamically. So literally within like a second, or it's booked. It's actually super impressive. I've been showing some of my friends and they've been freaking out about this and how fast it is and how accurate it is. And lastly, we have the end of call report. So this is just connected to Google Sheets. You can see here it's got a bunch of information. And so we're just going to make those connections now. So transcript becomes transcript. Summary is summary. I'm also going to toss in call duration and the cost. There you go, guys. So I just went ahead and created all those. So now this becomes message customer number. So just expand customer, grab the number. Same with the phone number. Message phone number ID. The reason it ended. The recording URL right here. Just pass the rest. It's all available here. You can just keep clicking through these and you'll learn stuff and you'll find the right ones that you want. And then timestamp is just timestamp. It's just in a weird format. So take this and be like, what format is this timestamp in ChatGPT? And it'll give you the right one. Now we can hit OK. We'll hit save. Now when we finish our call, it'll give us all of this information. So it's extremely powerful. AI is literally going to change customer service, lead generation, so many different industries forever. And I'm super excited to be at the forefront, and I'm super happy to be teaching you and growing with you along this journey. If you did get value out of this, I would really appreciate if you dropped a subscribe. It's free, really helps support the channel, and allows me to continue making videos like this for you. With that being said, I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.